What's going on, everybody? My name is Andrew Montana, and this is Season 7, Episode 9 of HTF Bets. Today, we've got a great show in store for you today as we're stepping just a little bit out of our comfort zone, and by that, I mean we're not talking NFL, until segment 3. And so we're going to be starting off with UCF 295 starring Prohaska and Pereira with a seasoned Bets veteran. Next up, we're going to be looking at the NBA in-season tournament featuring a Bets debut. And last but not least, as always, we're going to be looking at our surefire picks of the week. We're going to toss to a quick commercial break, so don't go anywhere because HTF Bets starts right now.
Get it, boys. What are you talking about?
Yeah, me and
And okay, I guess we're back. Looking at UCF, I'm just playing, UFC 295 featuring Jared Fox. Jared Foxy, how you doing over there at the TV?
Dude, I'm doing absolutely wonderful. I cannot wait for Saturday night because we've got a fire set of fights coming up. So can't wait.
And just as always, we've got the same old emphasis on old. Phil, how you doing?
I'm doing good. My bones aching, So, yeah.
40 really catches up to you, huh?
Yeah, it really does.
Happy birthday. Ezra, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. I'm
Pretty
excited
good.
for the UFC card.
It's not just me.
He's messing
It's not
me
just
up.
me. Jeez, Camden coming all the way out here just to troll. Okay, so anyway, we're going to be looking, as Jared said, at this week's main event, Saturday, November 1st. No, that's a lie. November 11th. I forgot the one. Madison Square Garden. Starting off at 10 p.m. We're going to be looking at Yuri Prohaska, who is currently sitting at odds of plus 105 to take home the victory, versus Alex Pereira, the Brazilian fighter, looking at minus 125 odds. Ezra, I'll kick it off with yourself. Now, Pereira has the odds advantage in this fight, but if you look at the statistics, Yuri has a lot of advantages. Why do you think that's the case?
Well, I'll be the one to say it. Yuri Prohaska is a very overrated fighter. He's had 3 UFC fights total, and he's been knocked out or almost knocked out in 2 of them, but has still managed to win the fight somehow. I think Alex Pereira is probably going to be the hardest hitter he's had to verse yet. Dominic Reyes is a decently hard hitter. Obviously, Glover Teixeira hit him pretty decently hard, but just doesn't know how to finish his dinner. Alex Pereira is a different animal. That man hits. He's one of the hardest hitters in the UFC by far, and he's nicknamed Stonehands for a reason. I think Yuri Prohaska's chin isn't going to necessarily be able to hold up in particular, and also Yuri Prohaska just came off a really big surgery, off a shoulder injury, one of the worst shoulder injuries in UFC history. I don't think that he is correct to be the underdog in this fight, in my opinion.
And I mean, we on this panel know of all people that shoulder injuries are a
Yeah.
killer. Are a killer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jared, I'm gonna toss it to you next. We've got Prohaska with a record of 29-3-1, taking on Alex Pereira with a record of 8-2-0. Now, what impact do you believe experience is gonna have on this fight for both fighters?
So don't let the record fool you because a lot of these fights for Yuri are not in the UFC. Like Ezra said, he only has like three,
yeah.
maybe 4. Okay, 3 in the UFC. And I mean, Ezra said it best. I mean, I don't understand how he even won some of these fights because he was losing the fight to Glover Teixeira until the last 30 seconds when he submitted him. He was losing the fight to Dominic Reyes, but got a lucky spinning elbow knockout. So I don't think he's going to be as lucky this time. I think, like Ezra said, Alex Pereira is one of the hardest hitters in the UFC, and I just don't think that he's going to be able to stand and bang. I also don't think that he'll be able to even wrestle with him because Alex Pereira, his number one trainer and the guy that he trains with is, what do you know, Glover Teixeira, who Yuri just fought. So Alex Pereira is going to get all this experience, all this knowledge from his trainer Glover, and he's going to be able to, tell Alex how to fight him, what he should do when he's on the ground. And I think that it's going to be actually more of a stand and bang kind of fight. I think that Alex Pereira is going to knock him out probably round 2.
Round two. I
Round
would have said
two.
like
Jared, I
later
have a
rounds.
question real quick. You said Yuri only have how many fights in the UFC?
3.
3.
How much Alex has?
Alex has 3 as well, but he also was a champion. And Yuri was a champion too, but for, a day because he tore his shoulder?
Yeah.
So, listen, and I know Alex Pereira, he lost his one title, or he was trying to defend his title, lost against Izzy, but Izzy's one of the all-time GOATs. So I'm not listening to any of that. Yeah, I know Sean Strickland, whatever. We're not talking about Sean Strickland right now. So Listen, Alex Pereira is gonna win this fight. Trust me.
I agree.
So, okay, we got two people going for Pereira, and Phil, it sounds like you're gonna oppose. Why is that?
I'm gonna go with Yuri.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Yuri. Like, you know what? He is an underdog in this fight, but I think it will be a part of the grappling game that will win Yuri this fight. You know, I think it's gonna go the distance, honestly. But if Yuri's able to get Pereira to the ground, because we seen when he went against Izzy, when Izzy was able to do that, he couldn't do nothing in that fight.
Hold on, you said it's gonna go the distance.
I think it's gonna go the
That's
distance.
Going to
crazy.
distance is crazy,
That's
I think it's gonna go the
crazy.
distance.
but not even to mention that Yuri Prohaska is good on the ground. That's also just incorrect. I hate to break that to you. He got upkicked when he was on the ground and almost got knocked out, but
I think
survived.
He's better. He's better. I'm sorry. I like Muay Thai more better than kickboxing. That's his style of fighting. But I'm giving this edge to Yuri. I know you said the shoulder, which we gonna see. Hopefully he's 100%. But that was back in February, so he had time to get healthy, to train, to get that shoulder strong.
It's a shoulder injury, dog.
It's a shoulder injury.
I know that, but hey, I got an Achilles injury and I'm still walking around too. So yeah.
You're not gonna be back till next semester. And so with that being said, that's our opinions on the first fight. We're going to be looking at match number 2 on pay-per-view, which is going to be Pavlovich taking on Tom Aspinall. Now, Phil, I'll pitch it to you. Who do you think is going to win this fight and why?
Oh, Sergey, of course. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
You say, of course, like it's gonna be.
yes, it is.
Not
I'm sorry.
competitive.
Look, his last 6 fights, he won in the first round, right?
Yep.
And I'm sorry, he's almost good as a knockout artist, almost as Derek Lewis. And it's
He's up
which
there.
Derek Lewis he actually beat. Tom, what's his name again?
Aspinall.
Aspinall. He just lost to Curtis Bayless, who Sergey just beat his last fight. So
Well, Curtis Blades, the loss in that fight was because Tom Aspinall tore his ACL.
Yeah.
And it was a doctor's
Thank
stoppage.
you, thank you, Ezra.
man, look,
He was.
loss is a loss.
No, come on,
is
bro.
a loss.
Okay,
That's,
all
that's
right,
a
whatever,
freak injury.
whatever.
Loss is a loss. I'm
It's
sorry.
a
Hey, yeah,
freak
look,
injury.
how my Dolphins lose, y'all say loss is a loss.
We're not. No, this isn't an NFL
We're
segment.
leaving football out
You're
of
right.
this.
Leave football
We're
out
leaving
of it.
football out of this.
But honestly, I feel like Sergey will win in the first round. It's going to be KO or TKO.
That's not crazy to say.
That I agree.
And Jared, I'm going to pitch it over to you real quick. Pavlovich currently sits in a statistical disadvantage, at least when it comes to height, obviously, and striking accuracy. What method, what just tactic do you think he can use to at least put up a fight against Aspinall?
I mean, it's just his absolute power. I mean, this guy hits like a freaking Mack truck. I mean, listen, I know that Tom Aspinall also hits like a Mack truck. I understand. Like Phil said, it's going to be a first-round knockout. It's a heavyweight fight, and these are two of the hardest hitters in the division, in the UFC even. So I think it's going to be a first-round knockout. I'm not 100% sure it's going to be Sergey, because in fights like this, you never really know. It's kind of just whoever lands that power shot and right on the chin, wherever it is. But I definitely think that Pavlovich will win this fight just because, I mean, the guy hasn't lost since 2018. He hasn't lost since pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing? Now, Tom Aspinall does deserve to be here. Let's not shy against that. This guy is an absolute unit, an absolute tank. So it's going to be I think it's my favorite fight on this card, actually. So
I was gonna say, just looking into the like the stats, highlights, and everything, this fight definitely seems more entertaining, at least, that I'm looking forward to, especially against the main event. But Ezra, I'm gonna pitch it over to you. We went over this before the show started, but both fighters have like 3 statistics in their advantage out of the main 6 ones. Why do you think, regardless of the equal discrepancy in statistics, that Aspinall has the advantage in the odds?
Aspinall's a more clean fighter, I would say. He's like a better boxer altogether, whereas Sergey Pavlovich is just an absolute powerhouse. So I'm going to say that Tom Aspinall is a little bit more favored because he wins his fights very cleanly. It's not in a sense of just throwing punches forward. He's looking for the right strike and hits you with overhand right and knocks you out. So I understand Tom Aspinall being the favorite here, but at the same time, I can't go against Sergey Pavlovich.
Yeah.
He's an absolute unit. He's probably going to knock him out. And funny enough, they both have the first and the third shortest average fight time in the UFC.
Yeah.
Tom Aspinall's first and Sergey Pavlovich is third. They both are under 2-minute fight times. I don't know how that's possible.
And just before we toss it to a quick commercial break, just so you guys know, Pavlovich currently sits with -102 odds to take the victory, whereas Tom Aspinall sits at -118, just FYI. And so we'll be right back after a quick commercial break talking about the NBA's in-season tournament. Don't go anywhere.
So, Tyler Brown, right? Says in my notes you're an Oklahoma fan.
That is correct.
So let me ask you, bud. Is Texas back?
All right, I put on a brave face a lot, but this year, I'm really scared that they are, man. Okay, they just beat Alabama. They're gonna be top 4 in the rankings. And last year, they beat us 48-0.
Yeah.
It was humiliating. We're the Oklahoma Sooners. We were the best ever. We were talk of the town. We had Baker, Kyler, and Jalen 3 years in a row. And now, are we good? I don't know. We haven't won a national title since 2000. We're number 18, I think, and nothing matters, dude.
Sometimes we build up these walls thinking they're impenetrable. But sometimes you have to knock these walls down to build up bigger and stronger ones. You got to be tough through that. It's hard being an Oklahoma fan at this time, but grass is always going to be greener on the other side of the hill, buddy.
Is it? I cannot live through a Texas national championship. I can't. I'll never recover.
You want to talk about Lincoln Riley?
What'd you just say to me?
I just want to know if you want to talk about Lincoln Riley.
You listen here, you court-ordered quack. You mentioned that.
Welcome back. Thank you guys for sticking with us. With us today is going to be our, actually, Beth's debut, Mr. Dario Arria. How you doing today, Dario?
Hey guys, I'm doing great. Glad to be here. Looking forward to those in-season tournaments.
Of course. We're really happy to have you on. Not only an expert on the basketball court, but off the court as well, looking at the NBA. Now, we're going to be looking at the group winners of both conferences for the in-season tournament. We're going to pick a winner, and we're going to give you that respective team's odds to win that group. I'll kick it off with my winner for Group A in the East. I think it's going to be the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, in that group, we've got Cleveland, we've got Atlanta, Indiana, and Detroit. Out of those 5, I only think Indiana, just because of how they've been playing recently, what are you looking at me for? How they've been playing recently with Tyrese Halliburton. What's his face? Big man. Miles Turner. Miles Turner. Cleveland obviously can put up a fight. It's going to be Donovan Mitchell carrying the load. But will they beat Philadelphia, who's currently sitting at, 6-1 after beating the Boston Celtics? I don't think it's going to happen. Tyrese Maxey's balling out. Joel Embiid can ball out. Obviously, he's the reigning MVP.
He was the MVP last season. I would hope so.
I know, but did he deserve it? I don't know.
No, he did not.
That's what we got Ray on Combine for. But yeah, that's going to be my pick for Group A in the East. Phil, I'll toss it to you. Who do you think is going to win Group B?
Oh, we're going to South Beach. I'm going to take the Miami Heat at plus 175 odds. So right now, they already played one of their in-season tournament games. Washington, they already beat them. They have the Hornets next. Then they have the Knicks. Then they have the Bucks. So it's kind of like, okay, each week is going to get harder and harder and harder.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But no, I honestly, the Bucks, I really feel like the Heat got the Bucks due to the fact that last season they was ranked 2nd in defensive rating. This season they was ranked 25th.
25th,
yeah. Like they still have Giannis, who's a good defender. They still have Bobby Portis. They still have Brook Lopez. But for some reason, Drew Holiday was just like that centerpiece that they needed. And now
Drew Holiday, the centerpiece of the Bucks, is crazy.
Of the Bucks defense. I agree.
I
agree.
So now,
especially this season when they're falling off.
He's going. And then when it comes to the Knicks, they are a very good defensive team. I watching the Clippers game and I seen that. But one thing about the Knicks, though, when it comes to offense, you guys
do not score the basketball.
You guys are all a roller coaster. It's like one game, you could be like the full quarter on the Clippers game, y'all couldn't miss. But then you could have R.J. Barrett could have a bad game, Julius Randle could have a bad game. So yeah, it's up and down. But yeah, I'll go for the Heat for this one.
And before we move on to Dario's selection, I do want to just mention that the Philadelphia 76ers are their odds to win the group are plus 215. Moving on to Dario, Group C winner is going to be. Who is it? Oh, and you're a Lakers fan, by the way, right?
Yeah, I am.
What's going on with that?
So I'm very excited right now. So for Group C, I think this is an easy pick. I think the Boston Celtics are going to take the group.
Shocker.
They're sitting at minus 135. I know it's kind of, you just pick the easy one. But the other teams are Toronto, Orlando, Brooklyn, and Chicago. And honestly, they're only like playoff contenders, while the Celtics are like top 3 teams in the league right now. So yeah, I think the Celtics are is the right pick.
No, yeah. If I'm looking at the roster, like you said, Brooklyn, Toronto, Chicago, Orlando. It's an easy pick. I'm not upset with that, Dario. Just so you know. Also, looking at the roster that we're looking at today, the Celtics are the only team projected with negative odds. So it's going to be a blowout.
I know.
I don't think it's going to be close. Also, what are they, like 5-2?
Otherwise, you lose money. So
They only lost one game, I think.
They had one loss and they lost last night to Philly.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
they
right.
just
So
lost
two.
last night.
They lost two.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Now, Ezra, I'm going to toss it over to you with the wild card selection. Who's that going to be?
So I was looking at the wild card selection. In hindsight, I probably would have picked another team, considering I should have seen that Group B. Phil's pick is a little crazy, but I just don't think they'll be in the wild card spot. I was going to say the Bucks, but no, I'm picking the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers have a pretty decently easy group to make it out of, or at least finish highly in, because obviously they're going to come second to the Philadelphia 76ers. That's not hard to say.
Fair.
But they're sitting at plus 500 odds to even win their group. I think they could end up beating the likes of the Pacers. They can definitely beat the likes of the Hawks, and they will 1,000% beat the likes of the Pistons. So I think they probably have the best odds to have the second best group record in the in-season tournament. So I'm going to bet on them, even though they've looked a little shaky this season. They haven't looked like their normal self. I feel like Donovan Mitchell just doesn't have his athleticism anymore. I don't know what's happened. I don't think I've seen him
He's still scoring
be
30.
like a slasher. He's just turned into a three-point shooter all of a sudden, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I think they're still a good team altogether. Max Strus has been a great signing for them. They have a solid shot, in my opinion.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell has very much changed his gameplay over the last couple years, at least since he's joined Cleveland. But if he's putting up 30,
Yeah, there's no question.
he's
So
putting up
if
30,
he's putting up the numbers, there's no question.
yeah. And Ezra, I do want to ask you this: between Miami and Milwaukee, who do you see winning Group B?
Milwaukee.
Interesting.
I don't think so.
Pretty easily too. It's not
Easily is
it's
crazy.
not because I think Milwaukee is a far better team than Miami. It's because I think Milwaukee beats every other team way easier than Miami beats any other team in this group.
Have you seen Milwaukee playing? They don't look the same. Like Giannis not
Milwaukee
look
doesn't
like
look
the
the
same.
same. Milwaukee,
He does not.
sorry, Giannis just put up like
And Miami looks
9
fantastic.
points
They were just
yesterday.
No, they
competitive.
did- they did
Miami
start-
looks fantastic. They were just competitive with the
They
1-7 Grizzlies last night.
They also did beat Milwaukee in the playoffs with Giannis. Obviously, he was hurt, but he was out for like a game
What happened
or
the
two.
year before when Giannis was there?
That's fine, but they
Swept.
since then they lost Drew Holiday, lost that perimeter defense.
No,
and
they
they're
didn't.
not the same on
But
offense.
They are
they
not the
gained
same.
Damian Lillard. That's
They
one
gained
other,
Damian Lillard,
that's
but they
one
also
other
somehow
person.
lost Giannis, who's been like a third of the player he
They
was
did
last year.
struggle
that's
against
right.
the Pistons last night
Yeah,
too.
but that's not to say that Giannis is going to be like this all season. This is a start of the season
That's-
where Giannis has
that's
played
fine,
a
but
little
if it comes
different.
if it comes to
Knowing-
the, if it comes to the
season as well.
tournament, if it comes to
Giannis-
the tournament, Giannis might
Giannis
not.
has had to play differently, not having Drew Holiday stopping people in front of him. There's 3 lines of defense on that Milwaukee team. It started with Drew Holiday, then it went Giannis, and then it went Brook Lopez. So anything that got past Drew Holiday had to deal with Giannis.
So,
And then-
so
Now
Giannis,
everybody is
Giannis
getting past that front line, so Giannis
because
has to
everyone's
play
getting
a
past the
lot
front
more
line, they're
defense.
going up to Giannis, right?
And then don't
Giannis is
let
struggling
Bam
on
get a
defense.
three-point shot,
Why is
for
Giannis
real.
still averaging like 11 points in the season? I offered my roommate a
he's
trade
using-
request. Give me Giannis, and I'll give you
Giannis
like
is using a lot more of his energy
Bradley
on
Beal.
defense this season, so he's not going to be able
that's
to
why
translate
so
they
that
he's
are
to
not
dropping.
going
He
to
went from
win.
dropping 30 to 11. No, unacceptable.
whatever.
We're gonna be moving on
Whatever.
to the West. Anyway, I'll start us off with the Los Angeles Lakers. Speaking of bad picks, with plus 225 odds of taking it home in that respective group, we're looking at the Lakers taking on Phoenix, who they did beat, which is why I'm kind of edging their way. No bias, of course.
Of course not,
Of
no.
course not. Of course not. Portland. Fair pick. Utah, I think fair pick. Memphis, I believe the worst team in the league.
by far. And the
in
Miami
record.
Heat were competitive with them last night, but keep going.
Gulp. Yeah, I think this group's going to be between the Lakers and the Phoenix Suns. And I'm only taking the Lakers. I mean, again, no bias, but LA did have Phoenix's number in that one game, what, a week ago or so?
Yeah,
If I'm
probably.
not mistaken, against Kevin Durant. He still dropped like, what, 30 points?
But Bradley Beal is back. So
Bradley Beal is back.
Devin Booker's fully healthy now, too.
Is he? Because then I need to update my roster because that's going to be an issue. I'm losing. I'm down bad, you guys. And then we're going to kick it over to Phil. Looking at Group B, another LA team, it seems. I
Honestly,
think we're both.
Yeah, honestly, this one
the
actually
This
is
is
a little
insanity.
bias. This is a little
This is
bias.
insanity.
So I had the Los Angeles Clippers at plus 320. So yeah.
Who's
they-
all in the
Yeah,
group?
who else is in the group?
Who's in the group?
I have it if you need it. Here, it's,
I
right
got
here.
it,
It's
I got
right
it.
here. It's right here.
So we have the Nuggets, we
Yeah.
have Dallas, you have Houston, and you have the Pelicans. Okay, so
Emphasis on the Denver.
Denver and Dallas, if we're being real.
so they actually play Dallas tomorrow. So we're going to see. So right now, I feel like the 3 components that the Clippers can do this.
my.
The three. First, they need to play defense. James Harden, you have to play defense.
Not
You
gonna
have to
happen.
box out.
Not gonna happen.
You have to. Okay. All right.
Brandon
Second,
Suggs.
you got to stop. They got to stop turning over the ball. I mean, they got 2 of the turnover prone players in Russell Westbrook and James Harden. You know, so
Like
then,
LeBron and Westbrook.
You're
Russell
explaining your
Westbrook on the
point
Lakers.
really well, by the way.
Yeah, no,
No, no. But then the last thing they need to do, I'm sorry, the small ball, I feel like it's not working.
It's not working.
Mason Plumlee is out. Go get DeMarcus Cousins. I'm sorry, I
He's
like
playing
DeMarcus
in
Cousins.
Puerto Rico right now.
That's
I don't
fine.
think
You need a big man. I'm sorry, I'll go get Cousins.
Ivica Zubac is still on the team. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm
When
saying. He's
off-
gonna
but
get another 50
he's getting
rebound
foul
game,
trouble.
Right?
He's getting foul trouble.
I
too
wonder
fast.
why.
So did Paul George against.
So
the
that's
Lakers,
why
so.
Mason Plumlee. I'm sorry, PJ Tuck. He's 6'3". You have a 6'3". Who gonna, like, if Zubac's in foul trouble? Who's going to play? But
Exactly.
We're gonna move on.
Exactly. No one's
That's
going to
the
play,
point.
which is why
Yeah.
Denver and Dallas are both better in that group. And now we're going to move on to Dario, looking at Group C. And it looks like Jack's going to be out of his seat for this one with
Yep.
plus 450 odds despite.
Okay. So for Group C in the West, I think Group C in the West is the first dead group in NBA history because they got a bunch of good teams. Anyone can
really
win.
do.
We have San Antonio, we have Warriors, we have Timberwolves, we have the Kings, and
The Thunder?
Yeah, the Thunder.
and the Thunder. Yep. So, but my pick will be the Timberwolves. They have won the last 4 games, 2 of them against Denver and Celtics, and I
Yeah.
think they just finished to figure out how to play with Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns at the same time in the court.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been an issue for a
That was
while
definitely
now.
an issue last season.
Especially
Oh,
last
yeah.
season. But, I mean, Kat was out with the injury for a handful of games.
Thankfully.
But if Anthony Edwards is looking like, what was it, Anthony Edwards,
my
Michael
God.
Jordan, it's going to be an easy cleanup for the Timberwolves. He's balling.
Nah,
You
He's
can't
playing
make
very
that
good,
face
yeah.
and pretend like he's not.
Anthony Edwards is definitely balling. I'm not going to deny that. But yeah, you know what? MVP caliber right now. But
That's
Ezra,
that's
who
a
you got?
that's a decent point. Ezra, who do you got?
All right, for the wild card, I loved these odds when I saw it, so I
I
had
do too.
to pick it.
I do too.
The Dallas Mavericks are at plus 950 odds to even win their group, which, funny enough, they're in the same group as the Los Angeles Clippers and the Denver Nuggets. I don't even think the Clippers are going to make it out of their group, let alone win their group. So I think the Nuggets will top it, and I think the Dallas Mavericks will have a really good record outside of them. So if that's the case, they're going to end up being this wild card spot because I don't think any other team, maybe the Suns, will be competitive with them. But I'm more likely seeing the Suns to win that group and the Lakers being second. But I think Dallas will have a better record
fair.
because they have to versus the Pelicans and the Rockets, and I think that Dallas beats both of those teams pretty easily. They're
Easily
6-2 right now. I can't pass up on the 950 odds.
So before we wrap this segment up, Dario, I'm going to pitch it to you real quick. We're both just spewing our trash onto Phil about his pick. Who do you think between, realistically, the Clippers, the Nuggets, and the Dallas Mavericks is going to come out of Group B?
Realistically, I mean, we still have to see how the Clippers develop because I really like their new player, James Harden, but I honestly think Denver Nuggets are just too good right now.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I think the Nuggets will take that.
they lost Jamal Murray is out for 3 to 4 weeks.
You're right, Bill.
That is
You're
true,
right, Bill.
and they
You're
still beat the Warriors.
Yeah.
Barely.
Win's a win, right?
Win. Wins a win.
I'm glad y'all said that. So when the first segment, when I said, you know what?
We're getting the wrap it up signal from the back. So we'll save that conversation for another time, Phil. But thank you, Dario, for joining us on air. We'll be right back after this commercial break for our Surefire Picks of the Week.
Hello there, everybody. My name is Dominic Mullen. Welcome to Hitting the Field Network. Our first show that you're going to see on YouTube is Hitting the Field Main Show, hosted by yours truly on Mondays at noon, where you'll see me with a fresh fade and fresh news. I'll also be talking a little bit of the hottest topics in sports, and we are going to be arguing mainly on there. On Tuesdays at noon, you'll see Isaiah De Anda Delgado and Ty Patton on the Combine. Just more of a podcast, laid-back style of a show. And if you're looking for the most creative segment ideas, head on over there on Tuesday. On our off day, don't forget to check out the studio vlogs on Wednesdays. Andrew Montana does a great job of giving a little bit of the behind-the-scenes look into Hitting the Field. Moving to Thursdays, speaking of Andrew Montana, him, Philip Powell, and Ezra Hines lead the way on HTF Bets. The Bets boys always come dressed to impress, and if you're looking to win some money and catch up on the latest betting lines, that's the show for you. On Fridays, you're going to head over and see Maddie Glass and the always wrong Tyler Brownrigg on Nighttime to break down everything about college sports. If you go to UCF or are interested in UCF sports, this is the best place for you. Sorry, Tyler. Our newest show here at Hitting the Field on Saturdays is Girl Talk, hosted by Kirsten Blaylock and Lexi Zolo. The all-female hosted show tackles breaking news all across the sports world and as well reliving the history and current state of your favorite team. Check that show out Saturdays at noon. Again, I am your main show host, Dominic Moeller, and if you're enjoying this content, don't be afraid to subscribe to our Hitting the Field YouTube and check out our Instagram. But for now, that's all. I'll see you on main show. Take care.
Thank you guys for sticking with us once again. We're going to be looking at our surefire picks of the week, and we're still all sitting at a record of 1-7. We're just the most consistent panel there is.
We are
realistically.
so good at being consistently bad.
That's what I'm saying. And so, as you guys know, we're going to be picking any sporting event happening within the week, make a 3-leg parlay, and like I mentioned in the intro, we're going to be talking straight football. We got 2 NFL, 1 college football, and I'll start off with my own pick. I'm taking the Chicago Bears beating the Carolina Panthers tonight at 8:15 p.m. I'm saying the Bears cover the spread of -2 with minus 110 odds. The over-under of 38.5, they're going over. It's minus 110 odds for that. It was previously 41.5 actually, and I was going to take the over there because there's just no defense whatsoever going on. There's more potential for an outbreak on offense than there is on defense. That's why I'm taking the over.
Did they get the Dolphins offense all of a sudden?
Yeah, I don't
No,
know
but
what
why? I mean,
offense
it
you're
is
watching. Are you
Chicago's.
kidding?
Hold on. And then Bryce Young being an anytime scorer plus 700. Again, Chicago does not have the greatest defense, period, especially running defense. If Bryce Young is just going to break away if they're at the 5-yard line, I mean, that's an easy pick. That's plus $700 once again. Easy money maker. Why are you guys tackling
This
the over?
might be
over
the
over?
first time I've ever disagreed with every leg in the parlay.
you
Like
said
this is devilishly awful.
Bears covering the spread. Bears
They
beating
don't
Carolina.
have a starting quarterback. Tyson Bagent is
forget
not
about
good
that. I
at
did
all.
forget about that. But still, I'm gonna run with it. I mean, we got nothing to lose. We're 1-7. So if anything, we'll go to 1-8. What is the 3-leg parlay just gonna bump me up to 2-7? Then I can be proud of myself. Yeah.
I genuinely
If you
think
win
you might
this
go
bet,
0-3 on this parlay. I genuinely do.
That's fine. I'll be on that Phil pack. And now Ezra, we'll kick it over to you. We're gonna be talking USC and Oregon State.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be covering college. I'm actually going to be covering college today. We're going to be talking USC versus Oregon. It's happening this Saturday, November 11th at 10:15 p.m. I have USC covering the spread. Spread's right now at plus 15, which is at a minus 110 odds. They covered that against Utah. They covered that against California, and they covered that against Washington. I think they can be able to at least be within 2 touchdowns of Oregon. Oregon is absolutely going to win this game, but USC's offense is just still really good. Obviously, Pac-12 defense, we can talk about that, but that's for another time. The over-under for total points in this game is at 73.5. I'm taking the under, honestly. In 6 of USC's games, they've gone over, but only in 2 of Oregon's games they've gone over. So I'm going to believe that Oregon's be able to contain them a little bit more. And then Bo Nix, I have him over on 2.5 passing touchdowns. That's at a minus 200. It was just an easy little filler, you know.
Yeah.
So I think this is a pretty easy one. I know there's a lot of minuses in there, but I'm trying to win here. I'm trying to win money.
Aren't we all? No, you're trying to win, period. We're not trying to win money because, again,
this will win you money, but
this will win you money if you get them all right, which it seems like you will. But yeah, you'll win a penny.
Probably will.
You can pay for a bag of chips outside. Phil, what about yourself?
You know what? We're going to take it to Duval County. I have the Jags versus the 49ers. Now, I have the Jags money line at plus 142. Right now, I have the Jags total point is 18.5 at minus 175. And then also Trevor Lawrence passing touchdowns at 1.5. I'm taking it over at plus 110. Look, 49ers, they just lost 3 games. Ever since when George Kittle did the thing with the shirt against Dallas, they lost 3 games in a row. Brock Purdy looking suspect. He is. Yes, he's looking suspect. The Jags on a 5-game win streak. If the Jags want to win this game, I'm kind of biased right here because I got him on my fantasy team. Give Calvin Ridley the ball.
I agree.
They need to give Calvin Ridley the ball.
You need to do that
Yeah, I know, but they want to win. They need to give Calvin Ridley the ball. That is true.
But Christian Kirk's been balling this season, so I mean, it's not
he has, but is he gonna produce at least for
you got
for
Calvin
scoring?
Ridley for a reason. Like, no, you need to give him the ball if he wants to win.
I don't think it's that's the problem. I think it's the problem is that Trevor Lawrence has only thrown 8 touchdowns on the season. So the fact that you have him getting 2 in this game against arguably the best defense in the league
has been flopping a little bit, to his point, but yeah, it's going to be.
Watch.
It's bold, but it's bold.
You know what's
I love these odds at plus 110. I love them.
That's
No,
fine,
that-
but
that is decent
you know
odds.
it's even more bold that none of us are going to win this week's parlay. We're going to be at 1-8 next week.
Bet you I'm not.
Okay.
Bet you I'm not.
Okay. Right. We'll see how that pans out. But thank you guys so much for watching. Shout out to Nick and to Dario for joining us, our bets debut as well. And we'll see you guys all next week after UCF just demolishes Oklahoma State, I'm sure. And until then, go Knights and charge on.
Jared says Nick.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated chance, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back, okay? Always locked in, I don't got time to lax. Saying he the best, he could take a lap. Batted 1,000 when you check the stats. Boy, is you ready? You ain't gotta ask.